Hey, good morning, everybody. I am here. I'm running a little late, actually. I've been scrambling to get a few things done this morning, and realized, oh my gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock. I need to get started. So here we are. We're on the stream. Good morning, Kevin Evans, and we're gonna get things rolling. So we're gonna just get right into it. Here we are. So there's some exciting news. We're working on some things to make this stream better. I don't know I don't know how much I can talk about just yet, but I'm planning on bringing back some interactivity. I'm going to spend more time on thinking about how to make this stream more engaging and fun beyond just the fun of watching me code, right? Because everybody loves that. And so for today, we're not there yet, but I'm excited to say that we're working on some cool things, and I'm looking forward to where we're headed. For today, though, I have a few things that I want to work on. I don't think I'm going to get to all of them, but I felt like this might be a good time to get started on a couple of the things that we've left our to-do list for. So one of them is this. Add an intent to let you check your achievement score. Actually, there's two things that I want to do. So this is one, and then if I come down to the SSML, I'm going to add the to-do, but then we'll come back and knock it out. Are you like that? Like me? Like I like to make a to-do list, and then already scratch, like one of the items on my to-do list would be make the to-do list, just so I can scratch it off. I don't know about you guys. I'm that way. Okay, for my SSML intent handler, we're going to add a to-do, which is make sure that all of the SSML properties are represented by this intent response. Okay, so that's one thing that we're going to do. We'll come back to that. I think this will be a more fun one to work on right now, which is check your achievement score and your position on the leaderboard. So if I come into my database and we look at user, I have what I call a score. This score is really just an individual count of, I think this is a roll-up. If I look at the actual definition for this, it is just... Oh, I am actually summing the achievement values. So if we look at our achievements, each of our achievements, for the most part, I think all of them have a 1. I haven't changed those values yet. But you can see in this column that I have an achievement value where each achievement is worth 1. Now, this allows me to make other achievements more valuable in the future, and we may need to decide what that means. But for now, they're all just worth 1. But I have the flexibility to change that at any time, because I'm not just counting the number of achievements you've gotten, I'm actually summing the value that I have here in this column. And so if I decide later that, you know, listening to 250 sound effects is worth 3, then I can do that, and instantly anyone that already has that achievement will have 2 more points, and vice versa. Or I can make them all worth 10 or whatever. We can figure that out. But that sum then gets summarized here. So I have a table that shows me all of the achievements that you've finished, and then this score is a sum of the values of all of the achievements you finished. So let's take a look. What is this PEC one? Effect 1. Okay, so that's the sound effect one. So if this should work. If I come over here to effect 1 and I change this to 10, then when I come back to my user table, we should see that now I have 28, right? I replaced 1 with 10, so I added 9. We were at 19 before, now we're at 28, so that makes sense. And if I come back here and I change this back to 1, then we're back to 19. So it is actually summing those values, which is super cool. So now what we're going to do is try to build a leaderboard response. This is a little trickier, but I think we can do it. And the reason that it's trickier is if let's create a new view here that we'll call leaderboard. And we're going to sort this one by score. So sort 9 to 1. So I don't know how many leaderboards any of you have built before, but this person is obviously in first place. They have 19 points. But then all of these people are technically in second place. They are all tied for second. And in a golf tournament where you have a lot of ties, this would be marked as T2, tied for second place. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 people tied for second. And then there's these guys. What place are they tied for? Instinctually, a lot of people will say they're tied for third, but they're not tied for third. This person's in first. There are 11 people tied for second. So this person is tied for 13th. Does that make sense? Because there are 12 people ahead of them, and so saying tied for third is a little misleading. These 4 people are tied for 13th. This is where the trick, the challenge comes in, because I don't have the power here in Airtable to have the rows be aware of each other. Like, it would be really nice if I could just sort it this way and then it would auto number the places for me. But they don't provide that functionality. So what I need to do is do this on the fly. And that's going to be challenging for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons is that Airtable only allows me to pull out 100 records at a time. And if I have more than 100 users, and the person that's asking what place they're in is 107, how do I, like, I have to go get all the data. I'd have to make multiple calls to get hundreds and hundreds of records, potentially. And then I would have to sort all of them. I mean, they would probably come back sorted anyway. It gives me some pagination options. But I would have to get hundreds of records back. And then I would have to do the math on the fly to sort this stuff. It feels like there's got to be a way to do this, where even if I just had... Let's see if we can do this here. This feels like a thing I want to do in the database rather than... we're going to call this a number, just an integer. Actually, yeah, we'll call this an integer. Default value doesn't really exist here, and we'll call this place. I haven't done this before. I don't know if this is going to work. We're doing some experimentation here. But I have these automations. We've created this before. I can delete this one. No, I didn't. Okay, fine. Delete. Oh, I have to turn it off first? How do I turn it off? Off. Okay. So now I can delete this. And then this one is going to be something different. So can I right click on that? How do I get rid of these things? The trigger type is going to be when a record is updated. Yes, I want to change my trigger. Okay. Fix configuration. Oh, which table? Okay, I want the user table. So when a user table is updated, oh, that's interesting. I could have it check. Oh, okay, so this is cool. Yeah, I'm with you, Brendonius. I don't want to calculate this every time. I want to have the database just know. I'm with you on that. So I have this leaderboard, but there's a lot of data in here I don't really need. So let's get rid of it. We're going to hide. I want place and score. That's really it. All of these can go away. I don't care about any of these for this view. Okay, so now if I see this record change in this view, the only thing that would change is that someone's score changed. And if that's the case, then I want to reshuffle this stuff. That could work. Okay, so let's go back to my automation, and we're going to say I'm going to select the view leaderboard and only watch updates in that view. That's perfect. And then updates the selected fields will fire the trigger. Well, okay, that's even better. So let's say score. And then I guess we'll choose a record. And so it brings me back, it still brings me back all the stuff, but that's fine. So when a record is updated, I missed what you were doing. How large is the range of possible scores? Are we expecting many ties? I think, yes, we're expecting ties. What this is a list of, here, I'll take a quick step back because I think this is useful. And any insights you have is always valuable. So right now I have this many users, but I've never released this to the public. I expect there will potentially be hundreds of users, maybe low thousands if I really get aggressive about it. And those people can complete achievements. I have all sorts of achievements. There will be many, many more achievements in this database. And each achievement has a value. So right now they're all set to 1, but I may, before I launch this, set them to all to 10, or set them all to 10 for the most part, but some of them are worth 15, or some of them are worth 20, or I don't know yet. I haven't figured out the scoring system. But right now I have it built so that at least they all have a value, and that's what I'm using to calculate your score, and then I'll figure out what the values of each of these achievements are later. So in the user table, I keep track of all of the achievements that you finished, and then I'm summarizing a column called score, and all this is doing is summarizing those values from the achievements that you finished. And so everybody has a score. I would expect there to be lots of ties, especially early on. And so on my leaderboard, I am just narrowing this down to be 19, and then I have all the 1s and the 0s. And what I was saying is this person's clearly in first. These folks are all tied for second, and then these folks are tied for 13th, because there are 12 of these 1s plus, 11 of these 1s plus the 19 is 12, so they are in 13th place, tied for 13th. So I'm going to have to be able to do ties, for sure. And I don't even know what I can do in these automations yet, so I was going to explore and see if this is something I could do, or if I need this to call some code somewhere that does that process for me and updates all the records. I don't know yet. So when a record is updated, what can I do? I want to, what I'd love to do is call like a Lambda function on AWS, but that doesn't seem to be an option. I would love to update the record, but I don't know. This would be the user table, and I would take the record ID of the, see, this isn't going to work. It's all still very individual. It's only letting me refer to the record that's been changed, but I can't take a big picture view of the whole table. At least not with this. This just may not be what I want, which is okay. So let's delete this. And if I go back to my table here, there's also these extensions. Let's see if it would be awesome if there's like a leader. What is record list? That doesn't really help me. That's not what I want. Yeah, that's pretty much all I get there. Okay. Can I do something here? Can I run? Let's see. Add image. No, I don't want any of this. Save view ordering. No. How can I do this? Where, I mean, do these scripts, are these customizable? Like if I just say this, can I then just modify the code? Pick a table, user, field, place. Okay, edit code. Ooh. Okay. Maybe we can do something here. Now I need to think about I didn't even know this was possible. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Scripting lets you write short scripts to reduce time spent on repetitive tasks. For each record in a view, compute a value based on the other cells and write the results to an output field. Well, why don't you give me like a sweet example of that? AirScript tutorials. Let's see. This feels like a thing that would just already exist. I'm not doing something new here. I don't really need like beginnery stuff. Finding unique records. No, I don't want any of this. Okay, that's not what I want. What am I seeing here? Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to edit this. I just need to understand how they do this. For example, they've got input. What does input refer to? Is it this? I don't even know that this matters because I really care about more values than we're seeing here. I need the score or whatever the column is called, and then I need to update the place column. This is a long script for just to find and replace. We also have scripts in the marketplace. I don't want marketplaces. One of our example scripts is a starting point, or checking out the community forum. Let's do that. I'm all about you. Ooh, that's not good. Groups, discussions. What is this page that is not here anymore? Check your URL for typos. I used your URL, bro. Community. Okay. Let's just try this. Let's try scoreboard. Both of these look like they could be interesting. Okay. That's not what I want. That's too simple. This is cool, but there's nothing. So I think I'm just going to have to write this, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. I just was hoping there was a easier way, because now I have to figure out their syntax and stuff. So I don't really want this find and replace. I just wish there was a better template example. Can I just get rid of you entirely? Delete. Okay. Let's see if we can find a more appropriate extension. Ooh, I can just add a scripting extension that's empty. Get started. Oh, here we go. My wife just sent me a text that says, "Don't care how much it costs." That's not a good message. Oh man. There's a super cool looking Nightmare Before Christmas Lego set. Ooh, that's going to be expensive. Okay. So this script gets all the records from a specific table in your base and displays them in a tabular format. I don't really care about the display. So what do we have here so far? Let name. Oh, I don't care about any of that. That's going away. So let's start here. How do I come back to this help? This help seems like it would be really useful. Okay, I see in examples here. I think that's probably what it is. If I do this and then I do this. well, let's take all of this and do that. And what happens if I just run it? What do I get? I get a list. So we're going to call this user. And now if I run it, what do I get? I get IDs and that. What? Are those my records? There's 16 records in user. And there's 16 records here. So it's pulling out record IDs. I can see the 3 I see, and then name. Why name? I don't see name. It's probably, do I have name here? I don't think name is a column. Is it? No. Weird. Okay, so what are we doing in this? Can I go full screen on that? Okay. Output table query.records. So I'm getting my table, and it's clearly getting my records. And then select records asynchronously, great. And I can see I have record field, user ID field. It's weird that they have these different names for them, but that's fine. Can I... This is what I'm looking at right now. Kevin said, I had a text like that once, and now I'm minivan shopping. I saw the picture of you on Facebook minivan shopping. I will tell you, man, let the masculinity go. A minivan with little kids is the greatest. It is so easy. It is so manageable. You should absolutely have a minivan when you have little kids. And then, once your kids are, let's say your youngest is 8 or 9, and if you want to get like an SUV or something, it's great. But I will tell you, letting the kids get out of the car on their own, without dinging the cars next to you, huge. Being able to open the doors while you're walking with your hands full and a kid in your... Huge. Do it. Get the minivan. It's totally worth it. You won't regret it. I know that's what your wife wants me to say, but like for real. I mean, this seems like a simple task, right? I'm just not getting the data that I want. And I can't seem to make this side wider. So I don't know what name is or why it's doing that. What if I do this? Fields. What does that do? Oh, that's broken. Query. So what if I get rid of this? If I just select records, what was that? This is way more complicated than I would have expected. I was hoping everything else about Airtable is so easy. What if I get rid of this? What if I just say don't just get, because I'm saying table, right? Let table be user, and then let query equal await table. So if that does nothing, then why do I do it? Those sliding doors on the side, man, those are a gold mine. Get a car with sliding doors on the sides. A tailgate that opens automatically. It'll pay dividends. I will tell you that in today's modern era, they're going to try and sell you the AV package, right? The screens and the stuff built into the car. Once your kids have iPads, they'll never use it. So don't invest in that stuff. I don't think it's worthwhile. It costs a fortune. What is output? My output must just be an object that I can call into that spills this. So what if I just say query? Ooh, Well, I'm getting a lot of record IDs. That's not really what I want. Query dot fields. This fields it doesn't even like that. Do we have IntelliSense here? Will you tell me? Okay. Query dot records. That's what we had. That got me this. Still not really seeing the thing I want. If I put the table, if I put this reference to fields in there again, I also don't know why it crosses this out. I get the same thing. There's no changes here. So let's do this like I know what I'm doing here. What is the record picker? What does that do? Let table equal news. Can I do like console logs here? Can I say query dot length? Doesn't like that. Dot length. Okay, what does that do? Where's my logging? Look at that. I have 16 records. And then could I do like a for loop? Var I equals 0, I is less than query dot records dot length. I could loop through them, which is really what I want to do. Third kiddo on the way. Congrats, man. That's crazy. Third kid. I just figure that she gets her minivan. I later get my Jeep Gladiator in a few years. Win-win. Totally agree. I got my. So let's look at that. I had like a sedan until 9 years ago. 9 years ago, my kids were 5 and 9. 6 and 10. 6 and 10. And that's when I got my first Jeep. But my wife probably had a minivan until they were 10 and 14. Something like that. I forgot a piece of this. Okay, so now I have a loop jumping through my stuff. Now I just need to figure out how I select a specific record. Prompt this user to pick a record. I don't want to do that. I want to update a record. How do I... replace would have it, right? There's original value. New value. Oh, goodness. Okay. They think about this much more as being like a user interface, right? Like we're asking the user if they want to do this thing. I don't really care about that so much, but I do want to update the record. But what I'm seeing here is so they're creating a new array called replacements. Find every record we need to update. For let record, yeah, I like this better. Let's do this. So we could do this. And then we're going to have like a first place. So we're assuming that we're going to get these in sort order. We'll have to fix that later. Query. Okay, so let record of query.records. And then what they do here is they create a new array called replacements. And every time original value doesn't equal new value, then they do replacements.push, where they're actually pushing a new object, which is the entire record, and then a before and after. I don't understand what that's for. Then why would you push the before and after values? Okay, then if there aren't any things in the replacement, then we're done. Otherwise, we are going to send a output.table with replacements. That's showing me, that would show me a list of the things that are going to be replaced. And then it says, are you sure you want to save changes? And if they say yes, then they're doing a mapping back to the table. So it seems like we're going to need that. Only 50 updates are allowed at one time, so do it in batches. But what if I just did each one at a time? Why do I have to do 50? I'm not paying for this compute, right? Boy, oh boy. Do I need to create my own array? Okay. So we could do something like var scoreboard equals this new array, and then in here, and I'm just going to assume it's always going to change. I don't know that I really care about a comparison. What I want to do here is I need to figure out what the place should be. So this means we're going to need a previous score. So just to give you guys the logic that I'm working here, I'm going to enter this for loop. Previous score is going to be 0. Place is previous place. Previous score. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare... I'm going to compare previous score with the first record. And they're not going to match. In fact, I'll make this -1 just so that I'm certain it doesn't match. This is going to be -1, which is not a value I can actually have in my data. And then I'm going to say, do they match? If they, I'll make this 0. So let's see if we can do this. If record dot get cell value name is going to be, the name of this is going to be score. Is that what I don't even remember. How do I, well, let's just do it. If the score equals previous score. Let's start with doesn't equal. That's the more fun case. Doesn't equal previous score. Then we got to do some commenting here. This is where we increment the place variable. And I guess I could do that. Place plus plus plus. Update the record to contain the new place. So I'm going to increment place, and then we're going to update the record. I don't know how to do that yet, but it's going to be something like this. So take this line and just drop it here, comment it out for now. Something like that, kind of. Or maybe what we do first is we just do a replacements.push. And inside replacements, we're going to keep an object that is record. Except it's not replacements. We're calling ours scoreboard. Scoreboard.push, where I'm pushing the record in there. I don't think I need any of the other original value before, after, any of that nonsense. I just need the records. And then what I'm going to do is jam all those records back into the database, which feels weird. I just want to tell it to update the record on the fly, which I think I could do here. But the fact that they're grouping these in batch of 50 makes me feel like... I think I'm going to go with my approach, not their approach. And the reason is because they're asking for permission. Are you sure you want to save these changes? So they have gone through and marked all the records that they are going to be replaced based on the query in this find and replace example. Then they ask the user, hey, do you want to do this? And then if the user says yes, then they jam through all of them in batches of 50. I feel like we're going through the whole database every time and we're not asking permission. So we can probably just do this part, which is going to update that record. I just wonder if instead of replacements, which is their array, all right. Well, for now, I think I wanted to check my column too. It's called score. That's what I called it. So if we come back to full screen, I called it score here. Why are you freaking out? Expected 1 argument, got 2. Was I just supposed to do that? Okay. All right, so if it doesn't equal the previous score, then we're going to increment the place. Else, this means it's the same score as the previous score we saw. And this is, again, so I guess the real question is, can I do this? Record dot I don't want to get, I want to set. I want to set a value. I want to change the value of a record. So can I do that? This all should be fine. See, it's weird to me that they only have these values. Why do they only have all of these unique identifiers and they don't have my actual data columns? You're finding my 16 records, and then you're finding me this other random stuff that I don't understand. Get cell value score. Does that? Okay, so that gets me the scores. They're not in the sorted order that I'd like, but we can fix that. I don't understand why I can't just access the properties of this objects, though. There's got to be a way to do this. Would custom report have anything in here? Yeah, see, like right here, they're just getting each individual value. Well, that's weird. So with this one, so they're doing select records async here, and then they're saying field table.fields. What if I get rid of this and do an array? Well, table.fields should be an array. So what if in fields I say score and place? Does it want lowercase for these? No matching fields called score. I'm gonna solve this. I'm gonna beat you here. We're gonna win. Does that change anything here? It does not. Why? I'm selecting the records. Is there something else I should be doing? Like if I say let query equal await table dot. Update record async. That's what I want. So select records async feels like what I want. It feels like fields is a property of that, but it's not really cooperating. So maybe we could do something like table.update record async. What am I going to put in there? Record or record ID? Record.id. What don't you like about this? Expected 2 arguments, but got 1. What are the 2 records that you're expecting? Fields? Oh, good morning, Soundmaster. We're getting deep into the dungeon of Airtable here, trying to figure out how to update a scoreboard. What is wrong with this? I don't even need this right now. What I need is I want to when I see this table down here at the bottom, I want to see my table. This is supposed to be easy. I don't even know what name is. I change this to an array, and I say score, and I say place, why don't those come through? So this knows user ID, polyvoice, user achievement. So the table knows all of the columns, but the records that I pull back from the table don't seem to know. And when I say table.fields, that's what I'm saying here. I'm saying that exact same array. Table.fields. So the table very much has all of the information that I care about. But when I output the records, okay, let's try this. We saw another function. So we're going to do this. We're going to say var user equals query dot get record with the record ID, which is going to be record dot ID. Console log user. Could probably let these boys hang out for a second. Okay, so if I run that, That's still coming back with just ID and name. Why? If I'm asking you for a record, why wouldn't you give me the whole record? It feels like there's some other property or some function. I'm just not seeing query. Well, I don't want query. What about table? Get view. Okay. Is that what that's called? Leaderboard. Oh boy. Please tell me I didn't lose all that. Edit? Okay. Leaderboard. That got me a URL to the, I'm assuming to the record. That looks like a URL to the view. That's the URL to the view. That doesn't help me. And my other option on table, I have a few things here. Select record async, record.id. Is that enough? Do you like that? User has nothing in it. This is probably an awaited function. Just get the name. So I can't be doing something new here. This is bizarre. Record template, no. Running total. Okay, so here they're getting a view. Select records async. Gosh, this looks exactly like what I want. Let's just take this out of here. I have so much garbage. We don't need any of this. We'll just get rid of all that. Okay. So what we are saying, if I can get rid of all of the extra that I've been doing. Okay. I am saying that no matter what, I'm going to have to update each record with their place. So what they're doing here, nope, nope. Goodness. Okay, so we're going to take all of this. This has to be exactly what I want to do here. Okay, so I'm letting my table, base.getTable, we're going to call this user. And we'll just comment this out for now. Then we have a view. My grid view is called leaderboard. I don't know that I like that name, but we can always change it. Leaderboard. Let result equal await view record where the fields array I want is place and score. And then let's see what that result looks like. Oh, but I have... All right, what do we get? Output. Where do I say output? Oh, because I was doing it all that way. Okay, fine. Let table there. We'll take our view here. And we're going to let query equal this, but it's going to be this one. And now everything should play nice. Still the same thing. Okay, so if we take this away, we had our query up here, so we're going to say we don't need this. For let record of query dot result dot records, great. We're going to say we need to get the cell value, so we're going to say var score equals record dot get cell value score. And if I say console.log score, that I think we made it to this point earlier. Yeah, and that writes out our score. So we're getting our records, we're looping through our records, and we're getting a score. I feel like this is progress. So now that we know what the score is, we can say if score doesn't equal previous score, God, what a battle this has become. If score doesn't equal previous score, else we're going to have some condition like that. Okay, so if score doesn't equal score, then we're going to do one of these. We're just going to do an update table. And we're going to set it to the new thing. We're going to do this all as one line. I don't like these multi-line function calls. And so we're updating our record, and then we're going to say place is whatever place happens to be. And in this case, because it didn't match, oh, we need a counter too. We need a counter. Okay, so if it didn't match, well, let's think through this logic. I'm sure 1,000 people have solved this problem before, but we're doing it for the first time. If the score doesn't match, the time that I want the counter is when I need to figure out what the next place is going to be. Because remember, we have the way our data looks right now. We have someone that has 19, then we have a bunch of people with 1. There's 11 of them. So it feels like every time I have a match, I should increment my counter. And then when I find something that's not a match, then I should do place plus equals counter. So let's see if that does what I want it to do. I come in the first time, I have 19. My score doesn't equal the previous score because it's -1. So I come into here and place plus equals counter. So place should start at 1. And then counter is 0. So added those together, I get 1. So that you're in first place. Then I come through the second time and I have a number 1. Well, 1 doesn't match 19. So we're going to end up in this case again. And in this case, we still need to increment place. So we're going to change place back to 0, and we're going to say that this is place plus equals counter plus 1. Okay, let's do that again. You come in at 19, first record, and I say, okay, I need to increment place. So place now equals counter plus 1. Well, counter is 0, 1 is 1, so that's 1, so place equals 1. Then I come through the second time. No match again. So our place is 1. We're going to add counter, which is 0. And we're going to add 1. So now place is 2. Now we come through the third time. It's 1 again. That means we're going to end up down here. So we're going to increment counter, but not place. And we're going to update that record with the same place that we just had a second ago. And it's going to continue to be 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. But every time we're incrementing counter. Then we hit 0 11 spots later. And so then we're going to come back up here and we're going to say, okay, place currently is 1. No, I'm sorry. Place is currently 2 plus counter, which is 11, plus 1. That doesn't feel right. That's 14. 2 plus 11 plus 1 is 14. That part doesn't feel right. So one of the other things that we need to do is set counter here back to 0. All right, I think we're almost there. It feels like counter should start at -1. I think that is the thing that I'm deciding here. Counter starts at -1 also every time. Let's run it. That's much slower, but we have that async call in there every time. What did that do to my table? Nothing good. Place is way out here on the end. Okay. Boy, that felt like it was doing something, didn't it? Edit code, please. Okay, let's get a little more crafty. So here we'll do a console log place. And here we'll do a console log place and a console log counter. Run you again. We should probably label these. Okay. Place will start at 2 as you initialize counter to 1. Score 19, place 0. That doesn't feel right already. It doesn't matter what I'm updating the record to. It's -1. Sorry, I can blow that up a little bit for you guys. Score 19, place 0. That already tells me that something's wrong. No, it's because of counter. Because counter is -1. I'm counting on counter to be. It should be 0. I gotta solve this a different way. So let's leave that as 0. Try that again. Now I have place 1, score 1, place 2, score 1, place 3. No. Why would score... Oh, haha, there we go. If score doesn't equal previous score, then previous score equals score. I'm not updating that. That's going to get you. Score 19, place 1, score 1, place 2, score 1, place 2. Counter 1. Perfect. Score 1, place 2. Counter 2. Score 1, place 2. Score 1, place 2. With the counter, keep going up. Score 1, place 2. Score 1, place 2. And so we get down here to the first one that says score 0. Score 0, place 13. Score 0, place 13. Counter 1. Score 0, place 13. Counter 2. Now, did the records get updated? Oh my god, they did! Guys, we did it. We did it. We did it. So if I look at my leaderboard, it looks like this. 19, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 13, 13, 13, 13. It did it. It did it. It did it. Okay. Now what if I have 1,000 records? Is that still going to work? If I hit edit code, this is gorgeous. I can see 1,000 uses for this. So can I rename extension? Yes. Update scoreboard. Update, I should be consistent. Leaderboard positions. Okay, that's closed. Now, if we come to automations, we should be able to create a new automation when a record is updated in the user table. In the leaderboard view. And I really only care about score. Then I want you to run a script, and I can't run that on the current billing plan? What? What do you mean I can't run that on the current billing plan? I'm paying for this. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have to wrap up here soon too. If I go to Oh, I'm not paying for it here. I see. But does that even get me what I want? I don't even know. Let's go back. Upgrade. Choose the right plan. Does scripting even work? 3 sync integrations. I don't even see scripting shown here. Not that. Oh, see all features. Here we go. Runs per month, 50,000 seems like a lot. I don't even see scripting in here. Sync tables, automatic sync. I don't. Do I even have the word script on this page? No. If it's not even in your feature list, scripting is considered a plugin. But if that's the case, then I should get 1 for free. Very frustrating. I think I may have to reach out to them. We were so close. That seems to happen a lot around here, where we get 98% of the way. This would be huge if I could make this work. Huge, I say. You're not giving me any details about what I need to do. You cannot run scripts on the current billing plan. If I look at what my current billing plan is, you don't tell me what my current billing plan is for this one, so I assume it's free. Let's go to my bases. And if we look at voice developer, I know, I'm aware, but you don't tell me where I currently am. Just upgrade to Pro. All right. Okay, we'll just do this, and we'll see. Well, I will be right back. A huge breeze just came through my house. It must have just been a weird wind. My wife just opened the door and apparently blew the door to my office open, which is on the opposite side of the house. That was a weird thing. Okay. We're gonna be sending them some angry grams if this doesn't solve it. Continue working in Airtable. Okay, so let's go back to my table. Say automations. Run script. Okay. So it looks like I just got to pay the money. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. I want the one I've already built. Maybe I have to bring that in here. I mean, I have a script. Where did I create that? I have these extensions called update leaderboard positions. If I edit the code, let's just take this. That's fine. It does what I want. And let's go over to automations, and we'll just say, give me a script. Test. We can take all of our console statements out. That'll speed it up a little bit, hopefully. Why did it fail? That's fine. I don't need the output. I just need the thing to happen. We'll go change a value. Test ran successfully. Great. Let's go into data again, and we'll just change somebody to a different place. 1, 2, 2, 2, 13. So if I come into the normal view, and I just take whatever this is, and copy that to okay. Now I have another person with that. So now I have a person in second place. So this should still all work, but if we go to our automation, which isn't on, which is why it didn't run, and we look at our run script, test action, just testing that, when it says it's done, I should now have place 1, 2, lots of 3s, and still 13s. Sweet. Okay. So I can turn on this automation. Oh my god, this is so exciting. So how do I want to do this? Let's go into our data. I want to like see this table. So we're gonna sort this by leaderboard. And we can see our places there. I'm gonna go into a new view, and we're gonna go into here, user achievement. No, we'll go into user, and we're just gonna get rid of something that I have. I want to do this like split screen though. I want to see this happen. Okay, you go away. So this is our data. We can see that we have our scores here, 19, 2, a bunch of 1s, and then some 0s. And I have them placed at 1, 2, 3s, and then 13s. All of that is perfect. So what I'm going to do here is jump into user achievement, and I'm going to delete one from me. Well, not from me. I should delete it from like this guy. No way! Oh, that is too cool. I don't know if you guys just saw that. I'll do it again. Let's take our number 2 away. 2 move down. Bang, 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 bang. Do it. Look at that. It just went through and updated all the places. Wow. Airtable wins the day. Okay. So, we've now done all of that. We now have a reliable column called place that tells me what place they're in. And this is automatically managed. So I should be able to come in here and create a new intent. I don't want to mix it into those. We'll come down to the bottom. We're going to call this scoreboard intent. And it doesn't have any slots. You can just take this object out. And the samples are going to be like, where am I in the standings? Or what place am I in? Or scoreboard, leaderboard, what are the standings? It's a good start. Good start. And so let's just bump that out. Let's go as deploy. Oh, this was exciting. I feel like we made some good progress today. I wonder how else I could use that scripting. There's got to be a bunch of ways that I could lean in on that. I have to think about it. It's already 10:30. I've done some skill building for Alexa. This is Quell asking. But when I search on dice.com, I don't find anyone looking for skill builders in my area. Is there a better place to search? I don't know the answer to that question. One of the things that I might recommend, rather than looking for job listings, there's a webpage on our website called Agencies and Tools. And if you just search like Alexa Agencies and Tools, you'll probably find that. Let's just do it while we're waiting. Alexa Agencies and Tools. Yeah. So this page has all of these companies.
From Syntester.com.
Alexa, stop. So you choose the country that you care about, probably United States, and there are all of these companies listed here. These are companies that we have vetted that we believe are solid places to look if you want to get a skill built. I would look at them directly. I would reach out to them directly and say, hey, I've been building skills for a while. I'm looking for opportunities to do this. But I would be more aggressive than just looking for job listings. A lot of this stuff... There may not be hiring just a skill builder, but what they're hiring is a mid-level developer that they're going to assign voice projects to, or maybe they're looking for a voice developer. But I don't think that they're hiring full-time voice developers. I don't think that that exists that frequently, except in like really big places. So I would reach out to some of these companies, look on their individual job listings. Maybe they have some stuff in there. But I would even like, this is how I do job hunting anymore. Is I find companies that I find are interesting or that I want to work for, take the in my area part out of it. I'm a remote worker. I've been for 15 years, and so I don't really care where your offices are. But I would find companies that I want to work for. Then I would go to LinkedIn, and I would find people that are in the position to hire me. I would send them a LinkedIn connection and just say, hey, your company looks really interesting. I like some of your tools, or I've seen some of the work that you've done. I'd love to connect. Just something that like is a little flattering. And yes, I can share the link. More often than not, people will accept your thing. Then, once they've accepted your connection, then you say something like, hey, I'm a, then you make your introduction. Hey, I'm a skill builder. I'm looking for opportunities. Your company looks really interesting to me, and I think I'd have a lot to offer on the skill building side of the world. Is there someone I could talk to or whatever? And then you get connections, and you make, like, it's a very navigable path. And people are generally pretty friendly and pretty helpful, especially most companies have some kind of referral bonus or something, so they're going to get a win out of it too, and it works pretty well. I've made a lot of good connections just because of that. Sometimes you end up with phone calls or conversations via LinkedIn chat, and then you know these people, and then later, a year from now, you're like, man, I'm looking for something. I should see if that person is hiring. That is the game that I play. I rarely go to a job listing site like Dice or Monster or any of those, because by the time they hit those boards, they've really struggled to find a person. They probably listed it on their own personal website first, and that was because they couldn't find somebody internally. I'm just giving you like the Amazon perspective on this, but like when a job becomes available, oftentimes there's a couple of weeks where it's only available internally. We offer it to our internal employees if somebody's looking for a job change or whatever. Then it goes from there to the Amazon.jobs website, where it can sit for months. If you look, some of those jobs have been there months and months. And then if we're really desperate for a role, then I think we'll probably push it out to Dice and Monster and stuff like that. But that's a last-ditch effort kind of thing. Or we need so many of these people that it's kind of a generic job that you probably wouldn't want in this role anyway. So it's all about people. This entire world is about connecting and making connections and meeting people. And so that is the way that I play it. I met some really interesting folks that work over at Topps because I just wanted to connect with them and see what was going on and see what kind of projects they had. And now I have some really cool connections over at the Topps company, which is great for me as a baseball card collector. But this can go a really long way, and I think that's the best possible way. Is once you're connected with someone and you're posting on LinkedIn once in a while, like your name starts to become familiar, because if they're scrolling through their LinkedIn stuff, they're like, oh, Jeff posted again. I know Jeff. He's connected to me. They don't remember necessarily that that was 2 weeks ago. So lots of little interesting strategies, but I'm as you've heard me say in other things, like I'm all about hacking humans and doing things in ways that are not, I'm not trying to be manipulative or difficult or challenging in any way. I'm just trying to get people to pay attention to the things I want them to pay attention to. And so that's my advice for looking for jobs, is go to the people. That will serve you well. Okay, so we have our thing, and now I want to do a test. I built my model. We can go back to full screen on this guy. And let's just go into our interaction model, intents, evaluate model. And if I say scoreboard, what do you give me? The scoreboard intent. Sweet. All right, well, unfortunately, I have to wrap things up today. But what we'll do is we'll build the structure for the scoreboard intent. We'll use what's a simple one? Launch request. Kind of simple. Save as. This is another thing I was just telling people. Like the amount of time I copy and paste from myself is it's a lot. Intent.js. Okay. So this is going to become scoreboard intent. We'll leave the session attributes. We don't really need any of this. You can all go away. And then this goes here. And then this scoreboard intent, scoreboard. That, and then scoreboard intent is going to go right there. And I think we're all rigged up and ready to go. So now I have my scoreboard intent file. No, scoreboard intent file. And it doesn't really do anything yet. We'll set it up so we can at least get a response. Var speak intent, speak output, equals this is the scoreboard intent. You're not in first place. Obviously, I'll be taking this content out. And then var action query will be something like, what can we do next? Okay. That is good. We'll do a little last deploy on our code. Ooh, I have a recommendation in there. Let's get rid of that. I don't need that. Boop. Hopefully it hasn't deployed it yet. It probably did. Let's try that again. Okay. That is all uploaded. So let's try this with voice. Alexa, open Voice Developer.
Welcome to the Voice Developer.
Alexa, scoreboard.
You just triggered scoreboard intent.
Oh, I forgot one thing. Alexa, stop. Not there, here. I need a scoreboard intent handler. Prosody, repeat. Scoreboard intent handler. That's gonna go down here in this list, like there, looks good. And then this is gonna be scoreboard intent, and this is going to be scoreboard intent. All right, let's do that one more time. Okay. Alexa, open Voice Developer.
Welcome back.
Alexa,
by the way,
scoreboard.
This is the scoreboard intent. You're not in first place. What can we do next?
Oh, that's so fantastic. All right, tomorrow we will come back and we will focus on getting that scoreboard to tell you what place you're in and maybe even show part of the scoreboard. I don't know how we'll do that, but we'll try it.
This is the scoreboard intent.
Alexa, quit. Okay, so that's going to be it for me today, but we will be back tomorrow and we'll make this scoreboard thing happen. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you guys all then. Take care.